Most people don't fail because they are incapable. They fail because they wait to feel ready. We think readiness will arrive with a green light, like confidence will knock at your door and say, "Right, now you may begin." But life doesn't work like that, especially not after 50. Not after retirement, when the structure disappears and you left wondering who you are without the title. Not after grief, when the world keeps moving but your heart is still standing still. Not after a relationship fracture that changes the shape of your family. Not after a health scare that makes your body feels unfamiliar. Not after a business pivot that leaves you questioning your relevance. You think, I'll start when I feel stronger, when I feel clearer, when I feel less afraid. But here is the truth. Readiness is often a myth. Let's talk about what's actually happening in your brain. When you're considering doing something new, even something small, your amygdala, your brain safety center, lights up. Change equals uncertainty. Uncertainty equals potential threat. So, your nervous system says, "No thank you." You interpret that as, "I'm not ready. I don't feel confidence. This must not be the right time." But confidence doesn't come before action. Confidence is a byproduct for action. There is something in psychology called the behavioral activation. It is beautifully simple. You don't need to wait for motivation. You create it by moving first. Tiny action lowers the brain threat response. Tiny action builds evidence. Evidence builds identity. And identity builds momentum. You don't need a new life plan. You need one brave, tiny action. Let me tell you about 3 people. Not superheroes, not influencers, ordinary humans. Story number 1, the widow who opened the garden gate. She was 68 when her husband died. 42 years of shared routines, shared teas, shared silence. After the funeral, the house felt louder than ever, but with absence. People told her, "You must join a club, you must travel, you must keep busy." She couldn't imagine any of that. It felt overwhelming, artificial. So she did something smaller. She opened her garden gate every Saturday morning and placed a handwritten sign outside. Tea in the garden, 10 a.m. The first week, no one came. She still made tea. The second week, one neighbor walked in, awkward, unsure. They talked about the roses. 6 months later, 8 regulars, folding chairs, lemon cake, share stories of loss, grandchildren and creaking knees. Science told us something important here. The Harvard Adult Development Study, one of the longest running studies on adult well-being, shows that relationships are the strongest predictor of long-term emotional health. Starting again wasn't remarriage. It wasn't reinvention, it was opening a gate. Story number 2, the retired engineer who felt invisible. He had built bridges, managed teams, solved complex problems. Then he retired. The first few months felt like freedom. Then the quiet crept in. Not financial worry, he was stable, but identity loss. No meanings, no meetings, no one asking for his opinion, no sense of being needed. He didn't feel ready to reinvent himself. That sounded exhausting. A friend mentioned a technical college that needed someone to help students with basic maths 1 afternoon a week. He almost said no. He didn't want to commit. He didn't want pressure, but he agreed to 1 Tuesday afternoon. Neuroscience showed that purpose-driven contribution activates the brain's reward circuitry, the dopamine pathway linked to motivation and well-being. After a few weeks, he noticed something subtle. He was preparing again, thinking again, being asked questions again. 2 years later, he mentors 14 students. He didn't launch a new career, he agreed on one Tuesday. Then story number 3, one close to my heart, the woman who couldn't run anymore. At 57, chronic knee pain ended her long-distance running. For years she had been the runner. Then suddenly she wasn't. She hated the gym, felt too old to start Pilates, embarrassed to begin strength training. Every option felt like a reminder of what she had lost. Our physiotherapist suggests something almost laughably small. She called them movement snacks. 5 minutes. Research from BJ Fogg at Stanford Behavioral Design Lab shows that tiny anchored behaviors outperform dramatic change attempts. We overestimate what we can do in a week and underestimate what we can build in a year. She started with 5 wall push-ups after brushing her teeth, 10 sit-to-stands before afternoon tea. That's it. No fitness plan, no new wardrobe, no Instagram announcement. 2 years later, she joined the hiking club. She didn't start by becoming athletic again. She started with 5 minutes. Do you see the pattern? No one of them feel ready. They felt uncertain, vulnerable, and out of practice. But they didn't wait for a new identity to descend from the sky. They choose one small scheduled shared action. The 5 3-second reset method. If you are in a place where something needs a shift, but you don't feel ready, try this. 1. Make it smaller than you think. Take the action you believe you should take. Cut it in half. Then, cut it in half again. If you think you need a full business plan, maybe you need 1 phone call. If you think you need a full fitness routine, maybe you need 5 squats. Number 2, scheduled, not emotional. Put it in your diary. You don't wait for motivation. Motivation follows movement. Tuesday at 10, Saturday at 8, after brushing your teeth. Structure protects you from your mood. Number 3, social or shared. Tell someone, not for applause, but for accountability. Even one person knowing shifts your nervous system from isolation to connection. Here is what I want you to hear today. Starting again doesn't require certainty. It requires permission. Permission to begin boldly. Permission to be seen trying. Permission to move before proof. Hope is not optimism. Hope isn't pretending everything will work out. Hope is the willingness to move before evidence appears. It's the widow setting out teacups with no guarantee. It's the engineer showing up on a Tuesday. It's the woman doing wall push-ups in her pajamas. It's your taking one step, not because you are ready, but because you are willing. And maybe that's the quiet revolution of this season of life. Not dramatic reinvention, but brave, tiny beginnings. So, here is your question for the week. What is one gate you could open? Just one. I'm here with you. Let's all thrive together. Thank you.